Hi girls, this is your video for 2B measuring angles. For this exercise or these notes, you're going to need your protractor out of your math kit. All right, let's go really quickly. I think you know these vocabulary words already. That acute means one of these small angles that's between 0 and 90. And if I just put my protractor up here, I can see where 0 right here and 90 is on the protractor. So one of those angles in between there. A right angle, of course, is a 90-degree angle, and we always signify it with these little squares in the angle. Then we have, I'll speed this up a little bit, we have obtuse angles. Those are the very big angles that are between 90 degrees and 180, so they're wide open angles. We have a straight angle that's 180 degrees. It's just a straight line. That signifies 180 degrees. We have a reflex angle. These are the angles that are on the outside. Okay, so sometimes they're on the kind of the outside of the angle, and usually when we have these in our work, we find the amount of degrees on the little inside angle, and to find out what that green or reflex angle is, we do 360 minus whatever we find, and that gives us the measurement here. I know that because a rotation or a revolution all the way around a point, that's actually the vertex of this angle, all the way around the point is 360 degrees. It's called a revolution. It just goes right around the point. Okay? All right, a protractor can be used to measure angles with a lot of accuracy. So it tells you what to do here, but it's a little bit confusing because it says place the center of the protractor on the vertex of the angle. So the center of the protractor is right here where these two lines meet. Right there, that's the center. And it also talks about the baseline of the protractor. So the baseline is right here. It's not down here. It's this line here that goes from 0 over to 180. So I'm going to go on to O here, which is the vertex, and I'm going to place my protractor right here, and then I'm going to line it with B, and then I'm going to go all the way up A until I see from 0 up to the angle I get to. So that's going to be 60 degrees. Okay, girls, now we're on this obtuse angle. You notice how that went this way to the right? This one goes to the left. So when we line up our center of the protractor on F, it has to hit with E, but I have to start from this side because the 0 now is over here. I can't start from here. That would be silly. It's not even in the angle. So I'm going to start from this side, the big loop, and I'm going to go around, and I can't really see where G hits. So sometimes it's really helpful to go from the vertex and just extend that arm so you can see what you're doing. So I'm going to put my center down, where that crosshairs, and then I'll line it up, and then I'll look out to G, and I can see that it's just about at 125 or 126. And you say, well, why isn't it here at 55? Well, it's not, because I have to start at 0 and go all the way around the big loop. So it's 126, I guess, or you can put 125. Now this is the one we talked about before. It looks like it's upside down. I'm going to measure in here, but this is the measurement that I really want. So I'm going to place my protractor upside down on the center, line it up with D, just straight with D, and I can see E goes right out here. Do you think it's 130 or 50? It's an obtuse angle, so it's 130 because it's starting from 0 and going around to 130. So I know in here is 130, but I don't want that angle in there. I want this reflex angle. So I do 360 minus 130. And that gives me 230 degrees for this angle. Perfect. All right, now, example 2 talks about using the protractor to draw. So the first one I know you'll be really good at. You have to put a dot and a line. So kind of make a ray, and then you put your center down and you put your thing lined up and you go 65 degrees. So I start from 0 and go to 65. I have to go all the way out here. But when I line it up with my protractor, I'll just draw it short like that. And I mark it as 65 degrees, and I have to name it. So I'm going to go A, O, B. Perfect. Now I'm going to do 130. I'm going to put my dot and my line, my ray, and then I'll put my center on and lie flat, and I'll go from 0 to 130, and I'll draw my line, I don't need to go all the way up. You can if you want to, it doesn't matter. 130 degrees, and I need to name it WXY. That's fine. This one's 260, so that's weird because my protractor only goes up to 180. So what I'm going to do is when it's bigger than 180, I'll do 360 minus 260, and I'll get 100. And then I'll do 100. So I'm going to do my line, my dot, and my line. They're not even very straight. And I'm going to go to 100. So I'll put my center down and I'll line my line up. And I'll go to 100, from 0 up to 100. Put my dot, do my measure. And I know that this is 100 degrees, and so I know that this reflex angle is 260. Great. There is your work.